Our eyes in the sky. In today's dynamic geopolitical landscape, information warfare is increasingly shaped by social media platforms. It's widely believed that what we're witnessing here is driven by traditional open source intelligence, especially satellite images. But there's a crucial distinction between open source images and commercial satellite imagery. OSN, OSINT refers to information gathered from sources legally accessible to the public, such as academic articles, government reports, and media publications. On the other hand, openly available information may be accessible to the public but comes with conditions, such as the need for payment, licensing, or specific permissions for use and share. The difference lies in purpose, accessibility, and control. Using commercial images with necessary permissions is not strictly adhered to in today's social media world, but these can have serious consequences. The distinction between becomes particularly relevant in modern time conflict zones. In the current Islam-Iran conflict, Isra- Islam, Israel-Iran conflict, much of the public discourse around damage assessment is asymmetric due to the limited availability of high-res images to social media analysts. Are these images truly open source? Not quite. They are made available for information discourse. They are provided by a small number of commercial satellite firms, often selectively. Images that align with the narrative being reported tend to be released first. This selective availability is often market driven and shaped by client priorities, commercial strategy, or geopolitical alignments. This selective discourse shapes public perception, and often becomes the sole bias for assessing whether a military operation was a success or not. In fast-paced modern conflicts, where situations evolve rapidly, high-res satellite images often become the primary source of visual evidence. They are eye-catching and easy to interpret. Average viewer doesn't need a background in remote sensing to spot a crater or a damaged roof. That's exactly why these images are so powerful and so misleading if not understood in context. These typically show only the surface, the cosmetics of the situation. In case the damages are external, these are sufficient. But in case of underground damage and damage inside the building, social media lacks the patience to corroborate with ground or alternate sources. Other, more technical forms of remote sensing which could offer a more comprehensive view, are seldom shared because these require expertise to interpret and don't lend themselves to an instant conclusion that social media thrive on. Dependency on high res images is only going to increase exponentially in the days to come. The larger question is who has access to high res images? Not everyone. Access is often limited to those who can afford it, or those who have strategic partnerships with satellite image providers. This creates an uneven playing field in shaping the narrative. During the recent India Pakistan conflict, aside from official government briefings, the first public images and update came not from Indian sources but foreign commercial satellites. These high res visuals, quickly picked up by the media and social platforms, helped shape the narrative. This time, one largely favorable to India due to geopolitical alignments. Yet, Indian analysts had limited access to comparable domestic data, curbing their ability to provide independent assessments when it mattered most. ISRO possesses the capability to image strategically important regions. While data from conflict zones is understandably sensitive, well defined protocols can be established to allow selective sharing with authorized users. Doing so would ensure timely, independent analysis and enhance India's ability to shape global information narratives with credibility. To keep pace with global players, private Indian firms must be further encouraged to invest in advanced imaging capabilities. At present, the market remains narrow and largely oriented towards government use. A more open, structured approach aimed at civil use and international relevance could help bridge this gap. Consider the imbalance playing out starkly in the Israel Iran conflict. Satellite imagery showing the aftermath of Israeli strikes in Iran have been widely circulated. When it comes to Iranian strikes on Israel, similar imagery is scarce or absent. While Western commercial imagery dominates global media, other players such as China's Gaofen series or Iran's own satellites may also have imaging capabilities. But their outputs are typically not shared publicly or lack comparable resolution. The public is left with a skewed view of events. While high resolution satellite imagery is an invaluable tool in today's conflict analysis, we must remember that what we see is not always all there is. A crater on the rooftop may speak volumes, but what lies beneath the surface might be the real story, one that demands expertise, context, and a healthy dose of skepticism. As conflicts and linked narratives ride on the information, the risk of disinformation through doctored satellite images is real. With today's generative AI tools, it's surprisingly easy to twerk with visuals, altering a background, erasing objects, or creating entirely misleading scenes. Satellite images are particularly vulnerable, especially those shared without proper geolocation tags. And in the fog of war, these altered images can spread fast on social media, shaping public opinion before the truth can catch up. Debunking such content isn't easy. It needs access to high quality time-stamped images, which isn't always possible, especially when the location information is unclear in the manipulated image. Even when verification is possible, it depends heavily on commercial satellite companies being ready and able to capture and release the necessary data on time. That's a tall order in the middle of a fast moving crisis. This is why it's becoming essential for countries to invest in their own advanced imaging capabilities. Having sovereign control over satellite data doesn't just strengthen national intelligence, it also gives analysts the tool to challenge false narratives quickly and credibly when timings matter most.